Alright everybody, the first game of the day, or the first game of the Enter the Storm qualifier, and as you can see we have Infernal Shrines. The mysterious monkeys are playing versus the Gringos, aka Degringolade Gaming, a French team if I'm not mistaken, but I usually can't be bothered to pronounce the entire thing. And we have a ban on Uther to start things up with. Of course, the drafting is usually all around Tyrande and Kel'Thas. There's a bit of an uproar right now in the community as well, because they want different balancing from Blizzard, and there's like a huge discussion going on with all of that. But in this case, the Degringolade Gaming, they don't even think about banning out Tyrande or Kel'Thas. They just make sure that both of them are allowed. And Mysterious Monkeys, they actually prefer Kel'Thas over Tyrande. So this is already shaping up to be a pretty interesting draft here for Infernal Shrines. The Gringos, they are a very aggressive team. You might have seen them already in the last qualifier. It was a pretty fun match that they played. They played actually a couple of really great games there, but they were hyper aggressive in most of their setups. Thrall right off the bat here together with Tyrande, so we are already in for a little bit of a treat, I want to say. Thrall, seeing him in business is always a lot of fun. Usually he is picked a little bit later, but he's really rising in the meta and in his like value towards the teams. But for now, the Mysterious Monkeys, they have a Kel'Thas, they go into Mirrodin immediately, and they drop that false stat too. That's a lot of heroes that they already have here. They can really handle themselves in a fight. AoE damage is of course something that you usually want to get on Infernal Shrines in particular. With Kel'Thas, we have Flame Strike and Chain Bombs that really helps you to conquer the objective and get those minion stacks that you need. The Degringolade Gaming, they can still rely on Thrall with the Chain Lightning, but of course we can assume that they are also going to try and pick a couple of frontliners that are going to help them with that. Leoric is, for example, a really good hero for that. Johanna as well. Both of them, of course, in one of the recent patches lost a little bit of their wave clear, but they're still very solid with it. When it comes to the bans at this point right now, there's a couple of things that the monkeys could really do to combo things off with, but to be absolutely honest with you, right now the Degringolade can basically just like ban out whatever. It doesn't really matter too much. They could just head into a ban on another support, for example. They already have Tyrande. It's very likely that they're going to play a solo support here. Maybe get that Tacita in as well. But for the Mysterious Monkeys, it's a little bit of a different story. I mean, they banned out Uther already early on, and Tacita is banned out. So it is a support. It's the only support that the Degringolade Gaming could have gotten as well. But they apparently don't want to play a double support role, and they just say, okay, ban a support out, make sure that the monkeys can't rely on that, and then take it from there. So for the monkeys, it was a little bit different. They know that they already gave up the Tyrande, and one of the reasons why they gave up Tyrande in the first place is because they knew from the get-go that they could deny a good tank to Tyrande. So that's the whole thought process behind the drafting of the Mysterious Monkeys. ETC was banned out, so at that point the Mysterious Monkeys just basically said, if they pick Tyrande, we can pick a tank, and we can also just like ban out Uther, ban out Diablo, and we're good to go. As long as the Degringolade doesn't pick the tank right at the start of the game. So the only option to really go into the stun versus stun meta for the Gringos was to pick Tyrande together with Mirrodin, together with Diablo right off the bat. They didn't do that, so now Mysterious Monkeys are just like trying to deny the pre-stuns for Tyrande. And what the Degringolade still can do is, of course, use that Thrall with the Wolf to kind of lock a target down and then really burst it away. They rely on charism in this case, probably more of like a melee assassin hybrid in this particular setup, since they already run a Tyrande, so you can go for Iron Fist on level 1, and you can still get the level 7 and level 16 talent if you want to have some additional healing, or you just go into the dash talents to dish out a bit more damage, but you still will get a little bit of healing power, and of course together with Tyrande that usually works quite a bit. Vala provides that AoE damage that I've been talking about earlier, so you really kind of need that if you want to succeed at the Punisher, if you are going for the Infernal Shrines. And the Mysterious Monkeys, they choose a hero. Like, they draft so fast, I can't even like predict what they're going to take because I'm not even done explaining what they already chose. So Sylvanas is being picked, and well, if you listen to the last few broadcasts and you know why, if you get one of those Punishers, you can really push the lanes in very, very hard just because you can disable all of the towers. The Punisher is going to survive a little bit longer, does more damage in the long run, and that's of course the whole idea behind all of that. They still need a support though, and right now with Charism already taken, with Tacita banned out, Tyrande also claimed, you can think about going into a Rhaegar, for example, which you don't see all that often on the European server. Personally, I still like him. Brightwing is another option, but with Falset they already have mobility on the map. And there's nothing really on the side of the Degringolade that would force them into a Brightwing, so Rhaegar it is, and I like that choice a lot. For the Gringos, I would really like to see something along the lines of a Johanna at the front line, considering that she's very much solo right now. They could play a very aggressive setup here as well if they wanted to, and go into a different front line. I mean, they still have a couple of options, Tyrael, for example, being one of them. If you have a Charism and a Thrall at the front row and right next to Tyrael, you can keep him alive as a solo tank here too. But there's a couple of other options that they could run with as well. I mean, we've been talking about Area of Effect in general, and that's why I'm personally leaning towards Johanna. Not only does she have the survivability, but she also has just that wave clear that you need to really be successful on the Infernal Shrine. So personally, I think it would be their best option in this particular setup right now. But as I said, they played very aggressive setups in the past, and they could try to do exactly that again. It's already a pretty melee-heavy setup as is, and for now, I mean, with Karazim, the Thrall already there, they need to try to really lock down or latch down to a single target and really burst that down. And there's Johanna, as already predicted. That's exactly what they should have gone for, and they did it. I love that choice. We have a very nice setup for both of the teams. Karazim on one side, together with Falstad and Sylvanas for the damage. Muradin at the front line, very difficult to take out. Rhaegar, of course, can provide him with a lightning shield and the ancestral healing for the burst if he really needs it. And for the Gringos, we have that Thrall combo. Karazim and Tyrande. I still expect Karazim to be played with a bit of a damage hybrid build, but he will still be able to provide some healing to the team during those fights. And together with Tyrande's Shadowstalk and also the Overflowing Light on level 6 or level 13, that should actually be enough to really help the team in those sustained fights. So pretty cool setup for our first game here today. I'm actually pretty happy for a first round match. This is looking pretty sweet. We're going to jump into Infernal Shrines immediately to check out which team is going to take it here. The first game of the day, ladies and gentlemen, and we are on Infernal Shrines. We have the monkeys to the left side. A mysterious monkey is going up against the Gringos, the Degringolade Gaming. And well, for the monkeys, we have Bernhard on Falstad, we have Glucosa on Rhaegar, Grulom on Sylvanas, Laranas on Muradin, and Lasif is playing Kel'Thas for the team. To the right side of the map, Ney on Vala, we have Bus Driver on Tyrande, Arcane on Karazim, Taluf on Thrall, and Zadoon on Johanna. So both of the teams currently relying on a single tank composition. I'm pretty happy that we have actually this map as the first map of the day. Looking at the builds, kind of what we expected this far. I mean, looking at Night Take Spawn here for Johanna on level 1, we have the Chain Lightning build for Thrall. I've been talking during the draft already about Karazim most likely going into Iron Skin, and that's exactly what's happening here. Bit of a body block against the minions can help you if your opponent doesn't do it, and in this case it actually works out very, very well for them. The Owl is hitting and is hitting home. It's not really a surprise to see Vala with a multi-shot build if you think about the objective on the map. You of course want to make sure that you get those minions there. And talking about minions and minion stacks, we have on Falstad flying up to the top lane right now to meet Karazim. In this case, immediately Season Marksman taken. Barbed Shot on Sylvanas. That's always a talent that we have to talk about a bit, because it can be quite nice to have that extra range on the talent. With the wind is pretty awesome for that, but having Barbed Shot is also pretty sweet. I mean, the talent helps a lot to take down these minions. When we're talking about the fights on the Infernal Shrines, that's of course also where Karazim with the chain bombs with the Flame Strike comes into play. And that's really what you kind of need to do. While you're fighting your opponent, while you're poking from a safe distance, you also want to do a little bit of damage against those minions, and that's of course what they're going to try and do here. So we have a rotation happening on the side of the Gringos, a very aggressive team from what we've seen in the last qualifier already. These guys were always out there in the opponent's face trying to really dominate. And it was this map where they were in the end defeated, but it was a very, very sick game that they played here, so it seems to be one of their favorite maps. The Shrine is spawning 1 minute and 30 seconds into the game, of course, and we have up to the top lane, Falstad already in position. And as you can see, with Rhaegar chosen as the healer on the side of the mysterious monkeys, we see that lightning shield on Muradin right away. The teams are going to try to go for level 4 before they really head into the battle up at the top. You usually want to get that extra talent before you really fight there. But the monkeys are actually going out of the top a little bit faster, trying to push our Arcane back. Lasif is a little bit too late, doesn't have this Netherwind talent on level 4 just yet, so you can't really lock down Karazim and take him out. In mid lane, we still have another wave that was just bursted away, and that means that we're going to see the red team hit level 4 a tiny bit faster. Both of them actually at the same time, as Sylvanas is doing her thing in the middle, but she's still in the mid lane, so she has to move to the top, which is actually why we're seeing the mysterious monkeys moving back right now. Chain reaction after Spirit Walker's Grace. Full healing build so far, and the damage with Overtake or the speed already taken. Right, the lightning, we have Laws of Hope, so no cooldown reduction, which is actually a bit surprising. I'm going to talk about that in just a bit. For now, let's just focus on the fight here up at the top, where we're seeing the monkeys go into position again. They're already at 22 of those stacks, and we have immediately everybody going for Laranas, but that stun is a bit too late, and the monkeys have to retreat. This, of course, gives the Gringos a few precious seconds to get those stacks up for the minions, and they're doing exactly that, trying to get the stacks as we speak. We have 24 against 23 right now, and once again, Laranas is the target, and he goes down. A lot of damage thanks to Kel'Thas, though, against the red team, and the Gringos have to be careful, but a nice double stun from Tyrande. Nehi is about to die, but so is Sylvanas. A lot of the heroes that we're seeing for the red team are extremely low, but it's still a 5 versus 3. And that's, of course, all that they need right now. Bus Driver low, but Karazin is helping out with a bit of heal, even though he went into Iron Skin. Tyrande always with a heal there as well. Vala is dying, but she died for a reason. She was able to buy enough time for the rest of the team to get the minion stacks. And the first Punisher, the Mortar Punisher, has been claimed and is walking through the top lane already. Jumping right into the face of Muradin, who's by now back to business. Bernhard moving back for mana and hit points. And everybody else taking position again on the lanes. First Punisher, of course, still a bit on the weaker side, which is why it's not all that dangerous just yet. For now, it's getting bursted down, but we wanted to talk about a few of the talent choices, and yes, especially when we're talking about the Laws of Hope, I wanted to talk about that a bit. I'm a little bit surprised that we see that, and the reason is actually quite simple. If you go for Eternal Retaliation, what you get out of it is, of course, a massive cooldown reduction on Condemn when you use it against minions, and also against the minions up on the shrines. And usually that's one of the preferred talents on this map in particular, because it gets so much more extra siege damage, extra damage against the Infernal Shrine minions out there. It really helps you to claim the objective, and considering that we have not only Tyrande as a healer in the setup, but also Karazin, not really as a healer, more played as a damage dealer, of course, here, Team Liquid style, but still able to give some healing. I would have expected them to go straight into Eternal Retaliation there, and then maybe even Conviction. Battle Momentum is fine as well if you want to have the super awesome cooldown reduction. So it's a bit oh, nice kill against Rhaegar. Nehi extremely aggressive with a quick wall forward, but will he die? Yes, he dies as well, and it could be the end of Thrall too. Thrall gets burst. No way! He survives actually, but they take down Muradin. Ah, well, that was a close call, but nice move here by Tyrande. But as I said, I was expecting Eternal Retaliation. We didn't get that, so it's a lot of sustain, even more than expected on Johanna. She is, of course, the solo tank for the team. Therefore, it can pay off to have that extra sustain and those extra heals for her. But it will definitely lessen their ability to put siege damage out on the Infernal Shrine fights a little bit. With the builds, we have Chain Lightning on the first two talents for Thrall going straight into level 7 follow through. And we see Remorseless taken for Sylvanas. So that's a very interesting talent here. Normally, well, it's actually kind of interesting that we have it, because Remorseless was like the talent that was taken on Sylvanas like all the time. And then at some point, the team started to realize that Unstable Poison was just absolutely amazing to burst down waves, and the meta shifted a little bit to wave clear. We had heroes like Leoric and also Johanna going for a lot of wave clear, and Sylvanas was just another hero that was added into the equation. But right now, it looks like at least the Mysterious Monkeys are going back in the meta a bit and rely again on Remorseless, which is basically a follow-through version of Sylvanas. So that can result in a lot more damage here for her. It's pretty cool that they're going back old school style, and I'm really curious to see how this is going to work out for her damage numbers then later on in the game. Besides that, most of the talents still what you would expect. We have now the Way of 100 Fists taken for Karazin. The team's jumping into the fight for the second Punisher already, as we have Rhaegar immediately with that cleanse. Of course, that's the talent that you really want if you have a Tyrande against you. Here's already the damage against Vahan. Nehi is about to die, but get heals in the last second. Nice job by Bus Drive on his Tyrande. Once again, the fight happening. Both of the teams aiming for the Punisher, and it could be the Punisher of the Monkeys, but a slight lead already for the French team. The Gringos are doing quite well here. Our Arcane is so low, so are Nehi and Bus Driver. The Arcane Punisher is taken. Karazin falls as well. Great moves here on the side of the Mysterious Monkeys. They take down Thrall too, and they move down to the bot lane. The Arcane Punisher, one of the strongest in the game, of course. One of the strongest Punishers on the map, and they have their level 10 now as well. A great move here on the side of the Monkeys, and they are able to get a significant advantage now. Ancestral Healing, Phoenix, we have Mighty Gust. In comes Laranas with a jump and also the Stormbolt. Once again, the Punisher back to business. Ancestral Healing is keeping Muradin alive, and they're pushing everybody back, creating a lot of space, of course, to take down now those forts as well. And Sylvanas is really helping out, just disabling one structure after another, all the way up to the top. You're already seeing that Falstad is trying to claim a bit of extra experience for his team. And with that small window that they had with the earlier level 10, they are able to take down the fort at the bot lane thanks to the help of the Arcane Punisher. They get a level lead, more than that even, with Bernhard up at the top lane, taking extra experience. But now we finally have also level 10, and therefore the heroic abilities for the Gringos with the 7-sided strike, with Shadowstalk, Strafe, Sundering, and the Blessed Shield. So a great start here after losing the first Punisher. The Mysterious Monkeys able to take the second one, put themselves into a very nice position here. Massive Laranas and Glucose are already aiming for one of the camps here, going straight for the Bruiser camp. But this is of course starting to be a bit of a tricky position here for the opponent's team. Here we have again Zadoon on his Johanna. He needs to be careful. If Laranas jumps in and stuns him out again, that would be a bit of a problem. Our Arcane up at the top, also in position right now, but the Stormbolt doesn't hit him. He dashes away in the back of the wave, and that's all that he needed to do here to go back to safety. Of course, having Karazim in the setup, he's extremely mobile, gets a couple of healing numbers out there. We can have a quick look at that. Even though he did not go for Transcendence on level 1, yes, you can see here, we have him with 11,000 heal. So this is one of those hybrid moves that we've been talking about. Groom jumping away with a Haunting Wave Blast, shield is hitting him, so is the follow-up stun. Nice job by Tyrande here, hitting that stun as well. Sundering used to isolate Kalthas, and that Ancestral Healing was a good reaction from Rhaegar, but there was just no way to save Karazim here. The healing didn't even hit. So in this case, it's a cool double kill that brings back the red team to business. We have the Shrine already announced up at the top, and another stun here, but Glucosa with a quick cleanse able to help Laranas out there. As I was about to say, we have, of course, a lot of heals already on Tyrande, and I mean, it's only going to increase over time since she now has access to Shadowstalk, which is one of her main sources of healing. But at the same time, we're seeing Karazim with 12,000, which is not too bad considering that he goes for a damage build in the first place here. It's of course single target damage that you try to get out of the hero, trying to just like push a few of the opponents back, going onto one of the squishies. But it's pretty cool that even though you try to do that, you will still have some support from Karazim during those fights. Good timing here also for the camp that is now being taken on the side of them. By the way, looking at the damage, we have 18,000 hero damage on the side of Sylvanas now. Still 65,000 siege damage. So even though she didn't go for unstable poison, it's still a pretty good number here for her. Level 13 talents for both of the teams right now, just furthering those builds, and that means chain bombs for Karazim, of course, and he's going to try and use that immediately. The reaction on Johanna and Thrall is a spell shield, trying to keep them alive. Yes, straight used in the backline. Laranas jumped in, gets an ancestral healing. Here comes the Mighty Gust also with a slow, but Sundering already used. They're going for Falstad, and Bernhard is down. It's a 5 versus 4 in favor of the Degringolade Gaming, and the Gringos go straight for that top. They want to have that Punisher. The Frozen Punisher is going to be the next one. Of course, by now we have the Healing Surge as well for Rhaegar, but it's just not enough. After that focus that we saw, that Karazim even using the 7-sided strike. Lassif on Karazim, trying to get away. Can they stun him out? Aloof with a stun. It's a bit too short, but the Chain Lightning of the Aloof hits hard and takes down Karazim. 10 kills against 4. Great moves here on the side of the Degringolade. Very well played. And of course that enables them now to just like get the Punisher, to get a lead in experience. That was actually very well done if you consider that Kalthas by now had his level 13 talent already. We still had very strong talents on the other heroes too. That was actually a very nice move on the side of the Gringos. They played this one really well actually. And for the Mysterious Monkeys, it's a bit unfortunate. It's actually a little bit disappointing considering that they hit level 13, they had the damage, but they just didn't have the position. They were really eager to go into that fight, and I guess especially Forster tried to use that Mighty Gust to isolate 2 of the targets. Merlin may be a bit aggressive with that jump in early on. He got that heal, of course, but therefore he also saw Ancestral Healing in cooldown. So maybe a bit too aggressive, a bit too far forward there for them. But now in this case, we have once again the push in the mid lane. As the Punisher is up at the top, Lassif is the only one who's trying to defend against the Punisher. He has to be careful though. There's the Phoenix in play, but he is getting hammered into the ground. Falstad is in the bot lane, trying to help the camp out. They are very far behind in experience, and that's why they're currently trying to just, like, split the heroes on lanes so that they have an opportunity to maybe make up for the disadvantage. Yeah, there's Bernhard already trying to take the waves down. He needs to fly back before the rest of the opponent's team is moving in to take him on. Level 16 will be ready in just a few seconds for the Gringos. Of course, the Punisher up at the top lane. I jumped way deep in and didn't really do too much except of taking down one of the towers and a couple of the hit points. But now our level 16 talents are going to hit, and that allows, again, blood for blood taken after we had that frost shot early on. You also have the Forked Lightning with a second charge on the Chain Lightning, which really helps you with the follow-through damage. And besides that, we have now the blinding speed after, of course, that Remorseless on level 13. And those two talents combined make it extremely hard to take Karazim down. I mean, first of all, Relentless already gives you a very, very nice tool against Netherwind, against that stun in general. But then at the same time, you're also relying on the blinding speed, and that's, of course, an amazing talent if you really just want to be mobile during those fights. The big problem for the Monkeys is, of course, the lack of the level 16 talents. They're not going to try to do anything before they have the experience to give at least that Arcane Barrier to Kalthas. So he's a bit safer. And in general, with their setup, the level 13 or the level 16 talent is going to be absolutely incredible. Not only will Rhaegar get the tidal wave so that he gets even more healing numbers out there, but we're also going to see for Mirrodin, Stoneform, and for Kalthas the Arcane Barrier. And those talents are going to help so much to keep them alive. Our Arcane is very much alone here, but actually Rhaegar is being attacked, tries to heal himself, and it's too late already. Karazim jumped away, and once again the monkeys a bit too aggressive. They saw an opportunity, but they went for Karazim, and he of course had no problems getting away from this one. As I already said a little bit earlier, he just has talents that are way too good helping him with the escape here. So he did not take him down, and then Rhaegar had no chance to get away since we had Thrall moving straight in for him and the rest down, and of course that snowballed against them. So they get baited here quite a bit. I mean, Rhaegar is currently at 24,000 healing. If you look at Karazim and Tyrande, they have 28,000 and 20,000 heals. Between the two of them, 48,000 there in total, which is twice the number that Rhaegar currently has. Gruul, oh my god, gets hit by the owl and eliminated. He just got away from Karazim, but then the owl hits hard, and now it looks like we're going to see the first keep in the game fall as the Gringos move in for the kill, trying to take this one down. Bernhard saves it for now, uses the Mighty Gust to push everybody away, but this is definitely not what the Mysterious Monkeys were hoping for here. Not at all. They have the level 16 talents, they have everything that they need right now, but the problem for them is really that the fights have not gone their way at all. And of course it also means that another Punisher is going to end up in the hands of the Gringos. They're going in again. Zadoon is going to get this one together with Toulouf, no problem whatsoever. It's a Arcane Punisher to make matters even worse. And if they just send 1 or 2 heroes into the mid lane, they should be able to get the fort in the mid and maybe the one at the bottom as well. But first of all, they have to go through the fort. They're going to go for this one already. Falstad deep pushed the mid lane where we had another Khazra camp, and this is now level 19 versus level 16. Very, very strong position for the Gringos. It's pretty much what we saw the last time that they played on this map, but it turned in the end against them. Maybe this time they have an opportunity to just like go through the next round. But as I already said, they switch lanes immediately. They move into the middle, take the fort down, the keep down, and at the bot lane, the Punisher is still doing quite some work. Those Arcane Sentries, they are nothing to joke with. They are extremely strong, and that's exactly what we're currently seeing here. Taking down the entire wall, more or less. Only a tower is still on half hit points. But yeah, we still have 2 of the forts available for the opponent's team. So right now, the Gringos are taking the monkeys apart. Level 20 now, the Storm talent hits. And with that, we are seeing Hunter's Swiftness. We have also Transgression Shake now on level 20 for Karazim. The Bolt of the Storm for Vala. We're seeing another Bolt of the Storm, so another Blink for Thrall. And Indestructible for Johanna, keeping her alive even a bit longer during these fights. So this situation is, well, getting really, really tricky now. We have, by the way, a bit of an adjustment as well. The Will of the Forsaken taken on level 16 for Sylvanas. So in this case, she becomes unstoppable for a bit. Not going for the Cold Embrace, which is still the most preferred talents for most players here. But the Will of the Forsaken, if you become unstoppable for... It's basically like a panic button that you have. Now you can get away for a little bit if the opponent is trying to lock you down. But with level 20 versus level 17, this is of course a very, very tricky situation right now. I mean, you're so far behind in talents that it's extremely... and also in levels, that it's extremely tricky to come back into it. We have Sylvanas, by the way, with 31,000 damage for the team, even topping the damage of Kalthas. And if you consider how the game went so far for the monkeys, 31,000 is actually pretty solid. So we've been talking about that level 7 talent, and yeah, they've been doing quite a lot of work, but of course 15 kills against 4, it's pretty... It's a pretty dominant performance that we've seen so far. The game isn't over just yet, and with the Kalthas on the other side, you're always able to turn a game around, especially if our Arcane on his Karazim is going to jump in to spread the love with the chain bombs. But for now, it's all about experience for the monkeys. They're going to try to hit level 20 to at least get a bit more experience on their own. But there's another shrine activating, and now that's the main question. Do you go for it even though you don't have the Storm talent, or are you just saying like, alright, we can't take it? There's the stun follow-up. Nice move. Great job here. Mighty Gust and Ancestral Healing keep Sylvanas alive. And that of course means that a lot of the heroic abilities are now down. And we still have, for both teams by the way, we still have that Punisher on the map, and it looks like the monkeys are going to try and play this one safe. They're already moving around. They're saying like, all right, go back onto the lanes, try to get the experience, play it as safe as you can, get a couple of camps, and let's try to survive the Punisher, defend against it. One more Punisher, we can survive that. He's going to barrel through the mid lane, and then we're going to try and make sure that we have the level 20 talent so we can at least fight. At this point, they need to be careful in the sense that the mid lane, of course, is already being heavily pushed. And this is a frozen Punisher right now. If they can make the defense work, it will be on level 20. But the Punisher is going to go through the mid lane. And there is no keep anymore left on the mid lane, so that's going to make things definitely worse for them. They have to somehow try to stay alive against this onslaught now, and the Gringos are going to try to finish the game with this one. So they're going to try and move in to take that. At this point, they're also... Yep, there's the jump straight up against Bernhard, the Punisher, and they get the kill against Muradin. The frontliner already gone, the silence hits a bit too late. Yes, here comes the Sundering, and goodbye, Khaldor. This, ladies and gentlemen, is going to be game. A 5 versus 2, Falstead down, and Sylvana is the only survivor, but the GG called as the Gringos are going straight for core to end the game here. Job well done, an entire team kill. Very well played here by the Gringos, and they move on to the second round of the End of the Storm qualifier number 7. Congratulations and well played here on Infernal Shrines. And that is it, everybody. GG and well played. The game's over, and therefore also the video for today here on Khaldor TV. We had another great Heroes of the Storm match, and I hope that you enjoyed it. Also hope that you enjoyed the commentary, of course. So thank you very much for tuning in today. If you enjoyed the video, make sure that you give it a thumbs up on YouTube. And of course, if you haven't subscribed to Khaldor TV yet, you should definitely hit that sub button as well. If you have some friends that like Heroes of the Storm, then definitely make sure that you show them the channel and also the video. There's a lot more where that came from. We're going to have like continuous content throughout the next few weeks with more Heroes of the Storm matches played, not only on the European server, but also on the North American server, in tournaments, in leagues, and more than that. So guys, once again, thank you very much for tuning in today. I hope that you had some fun. It was a pleasure casting for you. And I'm going to see you next time with even more videos here on the channel. So have a great day and see you.